It's to 8. So we'll talk about a very popular way people are spending their money over this weekend later in the show. But for many, the cost of living challenge is already hurting. A poll from Resolve Political Monitor is now seeing more than half of respondents saying that they'll find it difficult to cover an unexpected bill. That's a 10% jump, and it really is a sign of the times. That's brought an increase in interest for workers to revert to a system of earned wage access. Now, under this arrangement, employers can be given access to some of their accrued wages before the end of their payroll cycle. Certainly important if you want to cover a bill. Stephen Furman is the CEO of Paytime, a company dealing directly in offering earned wage access. Stephen, thanks for your time on this Thursday evening on Money News.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Steve, it's obviously not a good situation when people can't afford to pay their bills. Do you think this gets worse before it gets better?
Yes, look, I think it does get worse. However, the idea and hopefully going forward, what will happen is people will become more conscious about how to budget better. There's been good times for a long time, and budgeting is, for many, has kind of, flown out the window. And now it's really starting to come down to the fact that, as you said, more than 50% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. So it really does now come to, how do we budget better?
And budgeting can be just simple as a piece of paper and just writing what comes in and what comes out. Do you think many Australians are neglecting that?
Yes, definitely. And it's not only the low-income earners. Studies have shown that the more people earn, the more they spend. So it really is about getting people into that habit of, on a day-to-day basis, putting their expenses in against their income and managing those expenses more tightly.
We just spoke, Stephen, about the job numbers early in the show. Is it a good sign that people aren't losing their jobs yet?
Yes, very much so. I think that's a good sign of how resilient our economy is, and hopefully that obviously continues. But there's also, as we know, there's been a big shortage of labour and workers in the country. So, and that doesn't seem to be easing anytime soon. So hopefully, unemployment does stay low.
Stephen, how does earned wage access work, and what sort of situations would you likely to be in if you are to use it?
Yeah, so it's an interesting concept, and there really are two main scenarios where people are using it. Now, with more than 50% of Australians living paycheck to paycheck, where this...
So 50% of Australians living paycheck to paycheck, do you?
Yeah, exactly. Now, where the solution works and helps people are those that are living paycheck to paycheck. We cannot help those that are living beyond their means. Now, with those that are living paycheck to paycheck, the problem now comes in is when timing of an expense does not match when an individual gets paid. And that's regardless of whether they're getting paid weekly, fortnightly, or monthly. Often there will be an unexpected expense where one's child is sick, you've got to go to the doctor, get some medicines, and then 2 or 3 days later the phone account is due, and one is short on $200 or $300 to pay that. So what our solution does is it allows individuals to draw down a portion of their earned pay and take that money and pay that phone account, as opposed to having to wait for that set payday, whether it's 2, 3, 4, 5, sometimes it could be a week ahead. And in that instance, right now what people are having to do is either go overdrawn on their bank accounts, and as we know, our banks then charge a fixed fee plus daily interest and charges until it comes back in line, or take out a payday loan. Now, our solution is not a loan whatsoever. We're not putting people in debt at all.
Okay.
All we are doing is allowing people to access up to 50% of what they've already earned. So think of it as running payroll on a day-to-day basis, which of course is impossible to do. Payroll software has not been built to run payroll every day. And if one doesn't need their money, they just wait for their normal payday. The other very interesting scenario is not only those that are tight on the money and matching it, but what we're starting to get is, as we know, the mortgage cliff is certainly well in its steps now, and more people are going from the fixed rates to variable rates.
Of course, yes.
So what's happening now is we're getting a lot of our clients, their employees, are drawing down on their earned wages or salaries on a more regular basis, putting that money directly into their mortgage offset accounts and saving interest, fees and charges. Because as we know, the more times we put money into our mortgage offset accounts, the more we save on that interest, fees and charges. So it's becoming, more and more useful for even the higher income earners here to save money, because if you put money into your mortgage offset account once a week as opposed to once a month, you can save up to 3 years on a 30-year mortgage.
Just quickly, Stephen, are companies doing this to retain staff?
Yes, very much so. So across our client base, we are seeing up to a 39% reduction in staff attrition rates. Our lowest number is 20%. So it ranges between 20 and 39% of staff remaining with their companies for a lot longer than prior to implementing the solution. So it's becoming, a big attraction and retention tool for companies, especially, the tight labour market. If they can't find staff, they're actually seeing the benefits of the solution.